Hey guys, it's Mark here. I'm going to be doing today my first ever video, and it's going to be a pre-workout review on Derek from More Plates, More Dates' infamous Gorilla Mode. And it's going to be the 4th of July limited edition flavor, Volcano Burst. I was pretty excited to get it and came in and I thought I'd do a review over it. So the first thing we're going to get into is the flavor. Now, since the limited edition flavor, it doesn't really matter, so if you want to, you can skip past this part and get on to the actual ingredient profile. But as Derek would describe it,
tropical, like tropical fruity drink mixed with a bit of orange.
yeah, so in reality, it's kind of like a tiger's blood, that fake watermelon, and then a mix of tropical fruit, like you said. I was pretty surprised with how packed the ingredient profile is. It actually tasted really good, and I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10. So the next thing we're going to get into is the actual ingredient profile, but with its energy and focus aspects. Now, I wouldn't say Gorilla Mode is a potent stimulant blend. It has 350 milligrams of caffeine, which by all means is a high dosage and really good. I wouldn't want to take any more than that. But it's become pretty much the industry standard to be above 300 milligrams, especially in a 2-scoop product. So the next ingredient we have is 350 milligrams of N-phenylethyl dimethylamine citrate, or Areogerensis. Now, at 350 milligrams, this is one of the biggest dosages of Areogerensis I've seen in a pre-workout, which does make this Gorilla Mode a really good stimulant blend, but I wouldn't call it potent by all means. But it really adds to it, and I feel anyone who takes this, as long as you're not addicted, will have no problem getting pumped up on this. So let's get into the focus aspect of Gorilla Mode, because that's really where it performs its best. The first ingredient is 1,500 milligrams of L-tyrosine. So at 1,500 milligrams, this beats almost any industry standard. You'd see a lot of times in pre-workouts 1,000 milligrams or less. The next ingredient I was really surprised to see in a pre-workout, and it was 500 milligrams of Kanna. Now, Kanna is a root extract from Africa, and it's kind of known as a nootropic. At 500 milligrams, it's really going to get you focused. Kanna is a great ingredient, and it's a acetylcholinesterase inhibitor, which I think you missed the mark in not putting alpha GPC in here with it. I think it would have been a great kind of hand in hand to go together. But in the end, it might not have met margins. It might have been a little too expensive. And he might have just not had enough room with this packed ingredient profile. But overall, I like seeing Kanna. And then we have 400 micrograms of Huperzine A. And at 400 micrograms, that beats almost any other pre-workout on the market. Usually I see around 200, I think, is what I'm used to seeing in a pre-workout. Now, when I was in the gym, I was totally locked in on Gorilla Mode. I was just staring into space, but that's kind of what I like. I like that kind of more focus and a jittery feeling. So Gorilla Mode really was, for me, one of my best pre-workouts I've had in this aspect. So the next thing I want to talk about is the pump. So with Gorilla Mode, it comes in at 9,000 milligrams of straight L-citrulline. Now, the daily dose, the max dose, is 10 grams, so I just have a tub of citrulline malate and 2-to-1. I just put one more scoop in there to get it to its 10 grams. But with Gorilla Mode, I've had some of the best pumps ever, and I contribute a lot of this to the L-citrulline because it's a vasodilator, and then at 9,000 milligrams, it's really going to kick in, and it's going to be the best product on the market. You see a lot of pre-workouts, they'll have like maybe a 9,000 milligram dosage, not even though, and it'll be of L-citrulline malate and L-citrulline malate 2-to-1. So in reality, you're not getting then the straight L-citrulline. You're getting maybe 4,000 milligrams, or 3,000, and sometimes even less if it's like 4,000 milligrams. That's what they have on their product. So with 9,000 milligrams, I think Gorilla Mode is probably one of the best pre-workouts. Now, Mode also has 3,000 milligrams of glycerol, and I think that's 65% standardized. So glycerol is going to be have a super hydrating effect, especially while working out. So it's going to make the muscles kind of fill with water and become more saturated. And this is just going to help with the pump. It's going to make your muscles appear larger. Next, creatine. So at 5,000 milligrams, that hits the efficacious daily dose, standard recommended. So 5 grams. And creatine in general, besides just its strength of converting ADP to ATP, it's also going to have a saturation of the muscle with water over time, and this is going to give you looking more full muscle. And not just in the gym, but this will be all around because it's a daily supplement. So that's why I added it to the pump, because of its saturation with muscle and water. But yeah, overall, Gorilla Mode is probably the pre-workout I've had my best pumps with, and my best pump. I really like how it makes me feel. After a bicep day, barely move my arms, barely flex. The next thing we have is betaine anhydrous. Now, I didn't really know whether to put this in with the pump or just kind of talk about it. So betaine anhydrous, it's coming at 2,500 milligrams, which is a great dose, but it's more for intracellular hydration. So just cell hydration, because that's the main thing. When you're working out, you don't realize, but you lose a lot of water with your sweat, and a lot of people are just overall dehydrated. So if you're hydrated, you're going to be able to lift more, and I really like this ingredient. The next thing we have is agmatine sulfate at 1 gram. Now, you could kind of put this in the energy as well, because it does bind to a norepinephrine receptors, but I wanted to go more towards the route of, I think it's in there for the pump. And this is because it's going to really increase the production of nitric oxide. But it's one of the ingredients that I think everyone should have put in their pre-workout. And I actually have just a tub of agmatine sulfate that I add even more to it. But yeah, overall, I think it's probably the best pump I've ever had was with Gorilla Mode. So it's going to get a 9.5 out of 10 for me. I always think there's room for improvement, but in the end, I don't think there'll be much better. There'll never be a better marketed pre-workout unless you get just a pump non-stim formula. Then you could put a lot more into it. But other than that, for just a regular pre-workout, it doesn't get much better than that. So the last thing I want to talk about with Gorilla Mode is it's got bioperine, which is black fruit pepper extract. And at 10 milligrams, this is just to help you absorb a lot of the ingredients better. It's kind of an agonist in the stomach. And I like seeing this in any pre-workout just because it's going to help with absorption better. So that's why it's in there. And it might give you that feeling of just being warm, but that's kind of how you know it's doing what it's doing. And some people don't like that. I think it's a great ingredient to have, even if you have to deal with that and you don't like it. So Volcano Burst was a limited edition flavor, and it was my first Gorilla Mode product. So I've never had the other flavors, but I'd probably go with the lemonade. I think it's Firefly lemonade. I'd probably go with that as my next flavor of Gorilla Mode if I get it again. So overall, I give Gorilla Mode a 9 to 9.5 out of 10 because I think there's not really one that's going to beat it. There might be something close, but I don't think anything's going to beat it. And if it does, it's mainly because you're making it on your own. But I don't think a company's going to go out and reduce margins that much. And with my channel, I want to kind of talk about supplements and pre-workouts, but I also want to get in the gym, show you my lifts, and just kind of start something that I'm going to have fun with. So if you enjoyed the video, please like, subscribe, leave a comment, let me know if you'd like me to do more reviews, get in the gym, and thank you guys.